Hey, my super beautiful, lovely, gorgeous souls. It's Lizzie the Lightworker here. How y'all doing? Today I'm opening up a reading for you guys. This is going to be sort of a doorways to answers about separation with your twin, okay? And we've got 3 doorways, and you choose the doorway, and there's messages here for you. So today's video is going to be about current feelings in separation of your twin, okay? The energies will be more focused towards your twin in separation. Their current feelings, current state, their motivations, energy, and energy that might be surrounding them. Maybe some things that they're thinking. Are they thinking about you? What are they thinking about? What are they thinking about changing or focusing on? And some advice for the future. So if you'd like to hear all those messages and more, please stick around. I will put timestamps, watch the video and the messages for their entirety, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this and help for separation. And we're going to get started right into this reading. So if you've picked door 1, 2, or 3, we're going to start with door number 1. And door number 1's message is destiny. One door closes, another one opens for you. Let the plans of destiny unravel true. So destiny, we're getting a sense that part of these messages will be also part of the messages that are part of your destiny. Part of the things that you chose that you needed to learn in this spiritual journey and in separation from your twin. So let's get out some current feelings of your twin. So your twin is really feeling, I feel like, very confused, okay? In separation, I feel like they're not really moving. They're kind of in this energy where they're like in a mental fog, okay? I feel like there's lots of things around them, opportunities, options. I feel like they feel lots of different ways. I also feel like they might be doing a bit of ruminating where they're like, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have went this way, or I should have said that, or I should have done this. There's a lot of what if, I feel like, in this energy. I also feel like they're reevaluating their life. I feel like they're thinking about turns they need to take and directions they need to go. I also feel like they're faced with many opportunities and many options, but they just don't know how to move. I feel like this is a little bit stagnant where they're like, if I pick this one, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this is another trial. Maybe this is something, a blessing in disguise. I feel like they're very confused. Deep down, I feel like they know the right thing to do and the right way to go. But I almost feel like they're so enamored by everything around them and all these things and all these, falls and problems that they can't make a really good decision. So I feel like they're in a very indecisive, very confused state. I also feel like there was a lot of problems surrounding the separation, and they're hung up on these problems, okay? Sometimes, not always, I'm just putting it out there, this does have to do with like some mental illness sometimes, where there's like fluxes in moods, or there's some problems with anxiety, or a little bit of OCD, or not being able to make decisions for yourself, okay? So that's what I'm feeling a little bit here, but it also really has to do with reevaluating. So I feel like they're in a position in life where there's a lot of things that are now kind of smacking them in the face, that they're being almost forced to decide and make better decisions and choices for themselves, because I feel like in the past they did not make good choices for themselves. I also feel like there might have been some ultimatums, or there might have been some things that were said that were very, very true on your part, but on their part they couldn't accept it at the time. They were very disillusioned at the time, okay? Let's get another card. Yeah, I feel like in a way too, this is blowing me away, that there's a little tiny tad of narcissism here, okay? I feel like, not saying that they are a narcissist, but I feel like there might be some traits of, I have to be right, my ego rules me, okay? I feel like they will not walk away from a battle. I feel like there's this very much this need to be right, this need to win, okay? And that's the only reason why I feel like there's a hint of narcissism here. This is like, I won't be defeated, I'll defeat you, okay? There's a little bit of a control thing. I feel like that may have caused the separation here, where there was like a battle for control or power. and wanting to be right, okay? So they may have not been treating you right. They may have been treating you very, very unfairly and almost like a little bit childish, I'm getting a sense of. And childish in the sense where it's almost like, you know, if you were like playing with another kid, like let's just go to childhood and you're playing with another kid and the kid is holding a tennis racket and they're telling you it's a guitar and you're like, no, that's not a guitar, it's a tennis racket. And they're like, no, it's a guitar. And they like flip out. I feel like there's a little bit of childishness here with this particular energy. Okay. So I don't know if they feel like, hey, I won here. I won, you know, and they're confused about it and they maybe feel like they shouldn't have treated you this way. And they're sort of like worming everything over in their head and they're like replaying things. Like I said, a little bit of rumination. So let's get some energy. What type of energy are they carrying in separation? What type of energy, you know, are they feeling in separation? You know, what type of energy is surrounding them in separation? Let's get a look here and see. All right, so they got some weird sense of satisfaction here. And that makes a lot of sense because this card really is about satisfaction. It's about winning, okay? So I don't know if in this energy they feel like they won, they had to beat you. I feel like I said, that's a very childish emotion that they may need a lot of work on that. They may need to work through that. I also feel like they're in the middle of some serious conflict. They have conflict within them, okay? And the way they project it outward is that they won't be beaten and they won't be told what to do and they won't be manipulated. They're going to do the manipulating. And they get a sense of satisfaction out of that in a weird way. And it's all about pride. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. This is very prideful. So there's a lot of pridefulness here. These are energies that are not going to work in union with your twin flame, okay? These are wounds sometimes that we need to explore, that we need to sort of purge, that we need to learn some tough lessons, okay? So I feel like part of your twin's destiny is to learn a lesson about, like I said, maybe a little bit of narcissism, maybe a little bit pride, ego, vindictiveness, having to win, okay, having to be right. That's part of their destiny, is to learn these lessons, and that's why you separated. Okay. And what are they thinking? What are they thinking about in this separation? Let's get our Vintage Wisdom Oracle here and we'll talk about what are they thinking? What are some things that they're thinking about in separation? What are some things they're thinking about in separation? Sanctuary. Okay. So I feel like they're a person that they need their peace, they need their time alone, they need their time to unwind, they need their time to process, okay? This is also about processing feelings and emotions, okay? So in separation, I feel like they kind of just need to be alone. They kind of need to be in their own way, in their own element. Even if that's not the best for them and you know it's not the best for them, they don't know this. They have to come to a realization about it. So I feel like if they have alone time and peace and they start to move into, I don't know, an energy more of acceptance, they are finding sanctuary in that, okay? All right, so let's talk about maybe what are they focusing on? And we're going to go with Soul's Journey for that. Lesson card, Soul's Journey. What are they focusing on in separation? What are they focusing on in separation? Success. Okay, that's another thing that has to do with that Five of Swords. They may not feel like they are someone in this world unless they have a lot of power, control, and success. Okay, in the card says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. So I feel like deep down they know that they sort of need love. Love is a critical piece for them, but I feel like they don't really know what love means yet, okay? I'm getting a sense of a very immature energy coming from this person, and that I feel like they need to be successful in order for someone to love them. Like they have to have this power and status in order to be lovable or wanted, okay? That's what I'm picking up on with that particular card. And then let's talk about some advice for this whole situation. But yeah, some advice here. Let's get some advice. This is Wisdom of the House of the Knight. hope. Hope is more for, I feel like, the whole relationship as a whole. Like, in other words, it's okay. You don't have to give up hope on this. I feel like there is hope for this person, okay? Even with these, I want to say a little bit more of toxic energies, I feel like they can be purged. I feel like this person really needs to be alone. I feel like even if you know or think that they're dating other people or trying to talk to other people, they might be. It might be an ego thing for them to fill ego. I feel like there's not a reason to really lose hope. I feel like they also are holding on to hope, possibly for reconnecting with you. All right. And let's get one more card. Get one more card out. And we're getting intention. Okay. So they have good intentions. I feel like it's not that they don't. I feel like, you know, they can be a really giving person, but I feel like with the pride thing and the ego thing, I feel like they do it because they need like validation. Okay. So I feel like part of their destiny and part of their goal is to work on where their actions are, where their intentions are, and why they do the things they do. All right. Okay. Let's get on to door number 2. So if you chose door number 2, the message for door number 2 is Anthony's call, like St. Anthony. In thanks of my spirit, safe and sound, all things that are lost can be found. Okay, so I don't know if you're searching currently for your twin, but you're getting a good message from St. Anthony and help from St. Anthony if you believe in saints and angels. Current feelings, current motivations. Okay. So I feel like they may have a past, you know, some time in their life where they had to deal with some very difficult things. Okay. I also feel like they feel like this separation is a huge struggle, but they're starting to overcome it a bit. Okay. They're starting to be a little bit more open to healing, a little bit more open to letting go of like this bitterness or this paranoia about being hurt. Okay, so I feel like, you know, in a sense, they're overcoming a little bit. I do feel like they still have a little bit of healing to do. They're not completely out of the woods yet with that. To me, I feel like they think they survived something. They feel like they had to do this immense battle with you. They feel a little bit like victim, okay, if that makes any sense. Or it could be that you feel like a little bit victim and, you know, you're sort of coming out of this energy where you're feeling a bit stronger and a bit more able to stand and are not so guarded, okay? So I feel like they're letting their guard down a bit. Letting their guard down a bit. All right. I feel like they're a little bit stronger. They're coming into like stability. They're coming into like security. They're coming into feelings of being able to like depend on themselves. Okay. I also feel like they're putting work in to be this person possibly for you. Okay. Or possibly just for themselves. They may have never been able to do this before. Where they're more of like an on the clock person. They're more of like a, you know, I don't know, a 9-to-5er. They like structure. They like order. They like rules. They're a rule follower. Okay, they're becoming more responsible because of this separation. I feel like they're stepping into their own. They're realizing their power, sort of taking their power back in life, not feeling so defeated anymore, feeling more powerful, more secure, like I said. And that's a really good sign, really good energy coming into being this like, you know, maturity. Okay. I feel like they're gaining maturity here. And that's part of the reason why there was separation. I feel like they were maybe a little bit in victimhood and a little bit disorganized and a little bit unreliable and a little bit irresponsible. So I feel like they're learning this in separation. Okay, let's get a little bit of the energy that might be surrounding them in separation, energy they're carrying, energy that might be surrounding, possibly energy that they need to adopt moving forward. Let's get some cards out for that. Okay, we're getting shyness. And with shyness, I mean, I kind of feel like that would, to me, sort of suggest somebody that might be not as inclined to open up easily. Okay, that could be really what that means. They also could be lacking confidence, so hard for them to be this sort of more formal, I don't know, I want to say hard ass, but I feel like deep down, they might not be somebody that can share things easily. They might have a little bit of post-traumatic stress. They might have a little bit of inner child wound stuff that they're not ready to open up. That could be part of it too. When you mirrored to your twin these things that needed to be sort of worked on or healed, it could have opened up a new level with them, that they realized, that maybe their whole life they were lacking confidence, and that that's something they need to work on. I just feel like here they're becoming a stronger person, and definitely because of what you mirrored to them. And suffering. I feel like they had a lot of shit in their past that was very difficult for them to overcome, okay? And I feel like you may have opened that up for them, and then going into separation, it sort of blew their world open, and it made them realize these things. They are suffering in this separation, but I feel like they are a little bit more colder now about it, and a little bit more emotionally detached, in order for them to feel like they can survive this. Okay? But they do have a constant ache. They do feel it. It did hit them rather hard. I mean, they feel like they went through some immense battle, and they've come out of it now a little bit more responsible, a little bit more with it, a little bit more, centered. Okay? That's what I'm feeling. So what's something that they might be focusing on in separation? Let's see here. What's something that they might be focusing on or need to focus on in separation? More of a need to focus on. Wisdom. They're learning from this. They have learned from this situation. Even if it hasn't been a long time. I mean, you could be separated for weeks, months, years. They're learning from this. You thrusted them into, they want to learn now. They want to learn about themselves. They want to learn about what they need to do. They want to learn about spirituality. They want to learn about their awakening. I feel like you opened this up for them, and they're really kind of sinking their teeth into it now. I feel like they're putting in the work, but it's not without difficulty, okay? I feel like they're putting in the work, but yes, it's not without difficulty. And they're learning patience, okay? Which is really, really sort of corresponds here with all the cards. I feel like there may have been impatience with them in the past with you, where they either wanted something quickly, they wanted instant gratification. To me, more of like an immature thing, where like they wanted what they wanted when they wanted it, if that makes any sense. Now I feel like they realize they can't be that way. They can't act this way. It's not going to get them what they want. It's going to get them pushed further away, and it's going to push them further away. So I feel like they're learning this patience, that it's a very important lesson for them. And let's get some advice. Some advice from Wisdom of the House of the Knight. See what we can get here. They felt invisible in the past. They felt like they were never good enough in the past. That could be a major problem why this wasn't working in union with the two of you. They felt invisible. They felt like they were not good enough, that they were not being seen. There could be ego shit, but not ego like grandiose and the peacock. More like they felt never pretty enough or hot enough or smart enough. To me, I feel like there's more like not good enough wounds, if that makes any sense. So I feel like in separation, this is something that they need to work on. Part of their destiny is something they need to work on, is to feel whole for themselves before they can be whole for you. They need to feel committed to themselves before they can commit to you. They need to feel like they're good enough for themselves before they can feel like they're good enough for you. So yeah, that's definitely what could have caused part of the separation here. Okay, let's get a soul's journey for more advice. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So they might have a bit of resentment towards you only because you blew their world open and you made them realize these things. Nobody wants to be mirrored what needs fixing, what's broken, what's bad. I feel like they're in a process of forgiving you, okay? And don't take it the wrong way, like, oh, what did I do? No, it's more about the journey for them, that they need to forgive and forgive people from the past. That's what I'm feeling, okay? Which could have to root back to their childhood or back to a traumatic event or a traumatic relationship that they had. So part of their destiny in separation is to learn forgiveness. Okay, let's get on to card number 3. And if you chose door number 3, intuition. Simple, complex words of pain or words that heal. You come to know the truth by the way it feels. Excellent. Let's get some messages. Current feelings surrounding your twin. Queen of Swords. Wow. And the Lovers. Wow. Okay. So with this, I feel like with the Queen of Swords energy, we're going to tackle this first. To me, this is like somebody who now is, it could be an air sign too, by the way, guys. To me, it feels like this is like, I'm not taking any more shit. I'm getting down to the nitty gritty in life. I am focusing on things from an intelligent aspect. You know, I'm cutting to the truth. I feel like they got a little bit cold here. Okay. Or they have to work on the coldness that they are feeling towards life, towards maybe you in separation. I feel like they're more about the truth now, okay? Self-truth, self-realization, getting information for themselves, using information to progress forward and to heal, okay? Because I do feel like this has to do with healing. I feel like they've come to a realization that they realize you are their twin. I feel like you opened them up to new knowledge, to new insights, to new wanting to know. Like they want to know now, okay? They didn't have that before. And in union with you, it has blown them open. They're like, hey, I realize there's some shit wrong here. I need to use my intuition more. I need to follow my gut more. I didn't do that in the past. They may have not been doing that in the past with you, and it caused this separation, okay? Let's get out some, some energy. Their motivation, I feel like, is to heal, to cut the bullshit and get to the point of healing. I feel like they're very serious about this now. They're very serious about the way they want to heal, the process. They understand it, okay? I feel like they get it. They know that you are their true match. Energy is defensiveness and regret. Wow. Okay, so in the past, they might have been very defensive with you. You brought something to their attention, defensive. I want answers. That's not right. A barrier, like putting up a barrier, okay? Because they didn't want to face the things that they needed to heal. But now in separation, it's like they realize what they, when they say, don't know what you got till it's gone? That's their position now. They're realizing how much you cared. They're realizing that you were coming from a place of love. They have control and conflict issues though. And I say this because there's that defensiveness. There's that sort of, I'm putting the sword up, like, in other words, what I believe is true is what I believe is true, okay? But there's also a fairness and balance that is at their core. So they realize now in separation, after they've had time to process, the intellectual part of them is stimulated and they've had time to process this, they realize that they maybe didn't treat you as fairly as they could have, and they met you with defensiveness, okay? And it was because they were trying to control you in the relationship, and it was because they were trying to minimize conflict and minimize, like, emotional damage, okay? But they're very regretful of the past and the way they treated you and the things that they did. Definitely. They are very regretful. They didn't want to admit this, okay? Now they're like ready to sort of like almost like admit it. So if you have contact with them, I feel like they're like so regretful that they're going to admit it, okay? But they know they did stupid shit in the past. They know that they messed this up, and they know that they had shit they needed to heal, and they know that you were only trying to help them. They realize this now, but I feel like they're still a little bit defensive. They're still like, whoa, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not ready to, go there yet, okay? So maybe what are some things that they're thinking about? They're having an awakening. They're absolutely having an awakening. They've come to realize, this first card started out with intuition. It's like, I feel like they cannot hide from their intuition anymore. They're having an awakening. They're realizing things now that they never did, and it's because of you. You definitely activated them, and they are now more aware, consciously aware of their spiritual journey and spirituality. I feel like they are so much more open now than they ever were, but it's like a continuous process with them, okay? A little bit slower of a process with them. And then what are they focused on? What are they focused on? Freedom. So right now they may need to just have emotional freedom, okay? They may need to just sort of like, they're diving into this awakening, all these things are coming to surface. You know, they're losing their defensiveness, they're dealing with inner conflict, you know, they're struggling with regret, they're working on their healing, you know, they're becoming more pure with this, more pure of heart, okay? Freedom not for, oh, I want to be single. It could be that. It could be that's what was part of the separation, is they told you they didn't want to commit, or they needed more time, or, you know, whatever it is, and they deeply regret that now, okay? So let's talk advice. Let's get a card for advice. We're getting honesty. So they need to be a bit more, like, it's funny because Queen of Swords is honest, very honest person. They might be brutally honest at times. They may have been being honest with you and forthright with you, but not honest or forthright with themselves. Okay. So I feel like that's a big piece that they're working on right now. And transitional. Okay. I feel like this is a little newer for them. Okay. That they realized they were not being self-honest in the past, and that it really, really kind of messed up this union, this connection, okay? But I do feel like that's a slow process for them and something they're working on. So let's get a last advice piece from the soul's journey. Oh, we got a jumper. Failure. Wow. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So they know that they let you down. They realize this. Like we had the regret card. They're just like, they don't like to admit this, okay? They're struggling with that. They don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to admit this because they're all about like truth and justice and everything. But when it comes to sometimes admitting their faults, they have a little bit of trouble with that, okay? That's a little bit of an unevolved thing, but I feel like they're evolving. I feel like they almost want to be held accountable, and they feel like they might have been self-punishing for this in the beginning of separation, but they're coming to a point where they're realizing their failures and faults. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, I understand this now. They realize that it's an opportunity to learn. This whole thing, their part of separation, their part of their destiny is to learn about these things that we have discussed here. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Check the description box for a link for Twin Flame support group I started on Facebook, and also for my private reading information. I'm doing all kinds of specials right now. So if you're interested in that, shoot me an email. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of this channel and the growing beauty that you all are bringing here. And I love to hear your comments. So let me hear those comments. Love you guys so much. Love and light.